Hello, English learners, and welcome. I'm your host, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Excited to chat about English learning today.
Have you ever found yourself learning a fantastic new English word, feeling really good about it, only to have it just completely vanish like the next day?
Oh, absolutely.
That really frustrating blank in your mind, right when you need the word?
Yeah.
You are definitely not alone. It happens to everyone, I think. Even native speakers.
It really does.
Yeah.
We hear it all the time from learners. They spend hours, with vocabulary lists, and then poof, the words just aren't there when they need them in a real conversation.
Exactly.
And that's precisely why today we're doing a Mastering English Vocabulary. Remember words for good.
Yes. Our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut, some real practical ways to make English words actually stick for good this time. We want to move way beyond just like memorizing lists.
Right.
The goal is to share simple techniques, some fun tips too, helping you actually weave English words into your daily life naturally. So how are we going to do that? How do we unlock this?
Well, first, we'll kind of unravel why our brains seem so good at forgetting words, which maybe surprisingly is sort of a feature, not really a bug, of how memory works.
Okay.
Then, and this is the crucial part, we'll explore how we can consciously work with our brains, to make those words stick around.
Makes sense.
So let's start by unpacking that common problem. Why do English words seem to slip away so easily?
Okay, yeah, let's unpack this. The main reason, it turns out, is really rooted in how our brains are wired. There's this thing called the forgetting curve.
Herman Ebbinghaus?
Right, him. Way back in the, late 19th century? His research showed that if we don't review something, we can forget like 50 to 80% of it within just a day.
It's pretty dramatic, isn't it?
So is this forgetting a bug, or is it actually a feature, and how can we maybe exploit it?
That's a really great question. Our brains are incredibly efficient, actually. Think of your brain like a massive library.
Okay.
The books you use all the time, they stay right there on the front shelves, easy to grab.
Right.
But if you get a new book, a new word, and you just never open it again, your brain, because it's trying to manage space and relevance, it kind of moves it to the back shelves. And eventually, it might even get rid of it if it seems truly unused. It's all about information management, really.
That analogy makes so much sense. It feels like our brains are constantly tidying up.
Kind of, yeah.
And another huge problem I hear about, and I've definitely done this myself, is trying to cram too many words at once.
Oh, yeah. Big mistakes.
Trying to learn 50 new words in one go.
Yeah.
Your brain just gets overwhelmed, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like pouring a huge bucket of water into a tiny cup that just overflows.
Yeah, exactly.
Cramming might give you a short-term feeling of success, maybe for a test, but it just doesn't build that durable long-term memory.
Right.
And here's another really critical factor, a lack of real-life connection.
Oh?
If a word doesn't have a clear image or a sound or maybe a personal experience attached to it, your brain really struggles to hold on to it. It just stays abstract.
I can totally relate to that. I vividly remember learning the word umbrella because one day it just suddenly started pouring rain, like out of nowhere. And this complete stranger instantly lent me theirs. That sudden, visceral experience, it just cemented the word for me.
That's a perfect example. It shows how our brains create those meaningful connections. The key isn't just listing words. It's about linking them deeply with actions, vivid pictures, sounds, maybe even funny stories.
Okay.
So yeah, basically we forget words easily because 1, we don't review them enough. 2, we try to memorize way too many at once. And 3, we don't connect them to real life.
Okay, so now that we understand why words seem to just evaporate, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. How does the brain actually remember words? Understanding this process feels like half the battle.
It really is. Picture your brain, right, as this vast, complex network, like roads and highways.
Okay.
Every new word you learn, it starts off as just a tiny little dirt path, barely there. If you never travel down that path again, well, it gets overgrown fast and just disappears.
Right.
But if you consistently use that word, that path gets wider, it gets stronger, and eventually, boom, it becomes this solid superhighway in your brain. Repetition isn't just boring memorization, it's literally building and reinforcing these neural pathways.
So the more I deliberately practice a word, the stronger its road gets in my brain, making it easier to access.
Exactly.
Does that mean just practicing more and more is always better? Or is there a point where it doesn't help as much?
That's a really smart question. Consistency is definitely key, but it's not just about endless, mindless repetition, you know?
Okay.
The brain also loves patterns and associations, so when you connect a new word to something you already know really well, it kind of piggybacks on those existing brain networks.
Like hooking it onto something already there.
Precisely, which makes it much easier to retrieve later. For instance, linking the word delicious to your absolute favorite food, maybe that specific pizza you loved as a kid.
Pizza.
Yeah. That creates a really powerful emotional and personal connection. And that's like a master key for memory.
And I remember reading that our brains also remember things better when we use multiple senses.
Right. Absolutely.
So if you, say, see a picture of an apple, then you say the word apple out loud, and then you imagine its taste, like how crisp it is.
Yes. That's multisensory learning. The more sensory hooks your brain has for a word, seeing it, hearing it, maybe even feeling it or tasting it in your mind, the deeper it gets stored.
Okay.
And you have more ways to pull it back out again later.
Makes sense.
And what's really powerful here is emotion.
Ah, yes.
If a word makes you laugh or feel something strongly or brings back a vivid memory, your amygdala, that's the emotion center in your brain, it actually helps lock that memory down much more effectively.
That makes so much sense. Like the word awkward. I had this truly cringeworthy, super awkward moment in an English class once.
Oh no, we've all been there.
And now that word is just like permanently burned into my memory. It's not just the feeling, but how intense it was.
Right. Precisely. The stronger the emotional tag, the more memorable the word becomes. So yeah, to really help your brain hold on to words, practice recalling them actively, make those personal, vivid connections, use multiple senses, and don't be afraid to use emotion or even silly, funny stuff.
Right.
It really changes learning from this dry task into something much more dynamic and, well, natural.
Okay, you've laid out a really strong foundation there. But before we get into even more specific memory tricks, let's talk about something that trips up so many learners. The difference between active and passive vocabulary.
Ah, yes. Critical distinction.
Understanding this can totally change how you approach learning, I think.
It really can, and it raises that key question for lots of people. What is the difference exactly, and why does it matter so much?
Right.
Well, passive vocabulary is basically all the words you recognize and understand when you read or listen.
Okay.
But you don't typically use them yourself when you speak or write. Active vocabulary, on the other hand, is the set of words you can pull out easily and use confidently in conversation or writing.
So if I understand a word like, say, benevolent when I read it, but I never actually say it or write it myself, that's passive.
Exactly.
It's like it's filed away somewhere, but I never take it out.
Precisely. It's stored in that big brain archive, but you haven't built up the pathways needed to actively grab it and use it.
Okay.
And the really common problem is that many learners, often without realizing it, focus almost entirely on just building that passive vocabulary. They read a lot, watch movies, understand tons of words, but then when it's their turn to speak, they feel stuck.
Yeah, that feeling of knowing the word is in there somewhere.
Exactly. They often say, I know so many words, why can't I speak fluently?
That's the classic frustration. I used to feel that paralysis. I guess it was because those words were just passive, not active yet. So how do we fix that? How do we break free?
Well, the breakthrough really comes when you understand that active vocabulary needs deliberate practice in using the words, not just seeing or hearing them.
Right.
It's like learning to ride a bike. You can watch all the YouTube videos, understand the physics, know how the gears work, but you will never learn to ride until you actually get on the bike, wobble, maybe fall off, and keep trying.
That's a great analogy. Super clear. So to move words from passive storage into our active toolkit, we need to actually start using them in real situations, multiple times.
Yes, and not just once. To really get a word into your active vocabulary, you generally need to use it several times, and ideally in different kinds of situations or contexts.
Okay.
Speaking it, writing it, even just thinking in English using the word in your internal monologue, that all helps.
Thinking in English, yeah.
Maybe give yourself a little challenge. Try to use 3 new words every day in your thoughts, even if you're just talking to yourself about what you're doing. That kind of active recall strengthens the connections way more than just recognizing the word again.
That's a really practical idea. The more you consciously use the words, the stronger those roads become, right? Making them easy to find when you need them. So active practice is definitely the key. Okay, listener, don't just learn words. Use them, speak them, write them, think with them.
You've nailed it. And now let's dive into some practical hands-on techniques that will really help make those English words stick and, crucially, move them into your active vocabulary.
Yes, let's. I wish I'd known these when I was starting out. Would have saved a lot of frustration.
Yeah.
Okay, first up, chunking words into groups.
Yeah. So instead of facing these long, random lists of words, which can feel overwhelming,
Totally.
your brain handles information much better when it's organized. Try grouping words into logical categories or themes.
Okay.
So instead of learning like fridge, plate, happy, airplane all separately, group things like kitchen items together, knife, fork, spoon, plate, oven.
Ah, that makes sense. It's like organizing a messy closet, right?
Yeah.
If everything has its place, it's way easier to find things later.
Exactly. What's the next technique?
Okay, technique number 2 involves using our visual sense, which is super powerful for memory. So when you learn a new word, don't just write it down. Draw a quick picture of it, even a silly stick figure works.
Right.
Or really vividly imagine a funny image in your mind. Another way is to create a mind map. Put the word in the middle and branch out with related ideas, synonyms, maybe the image itself.
That seems really engaging. So if I'm learning cat, I could doodle a little cat and then connect it to words like fur, whiskers, purr, meow on the map.
Exactly.
But what if someone feels like, I can't draw? Like me, maybe?
Yeah, that's a common worry. But you absolutely don't need to be an artist, seriously. Even the simplest sketch or just forming a really strong picture in your head is incredibly effective.
Okay.
The point is just to engage that visual part of your brain. It's much better at remembering images than just text.
Got it. It's the process, not the result. What's next?
Technique number 3 is about building word families.
Ah, yes. This is efficient.
Yeah. It means learning a root word along with its different forms. So if you learn happy, you also make a point to learn happiness, the noun, unhappy, the opposite, and happily, the adverb.
I love that one too. So instead of just one word, you get a whole bunch of related words at once.
Right.
Which makes remembering easier, and it also makes you much more flexible in how you can use the concept.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It expands your toolkit fast.
Yeah.
Okay, 4th technique, using real-life context.
Crucial.
We talked about how memorizing words alone doesn't work well. So instead, learn them inside sentences or real situations. Like instead of just umbrella, learn it in a phrase. I always carry an umbrella when it rains.
Yes. And doing that also subtly reinforces the grammar and how the word is actually used.
That's such a key shift. When I learn words and sentences, I kind of automatically remember how to use them. And yeah, it helps with grammar too.
Exactly. And here's one more technique that's surprisingly powerful. Practice by teaching.
Oh.
If you could explain a new word clearly, what it means, how to use it to someone else, maybe a friend, or even just pretend you're teaching a class,
Okay.
You're forcing your brain to retrieve the info, organize it, and articulate it. That deep processing really makes it stick.
That's a brilliant way to make it more interactive and really solidify it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's recap those 5. Chunk words into groups, use visuals like pictures or mind maps, build word families, learn words in real context, and try teaching the word. Simple, but sounds really effective.
They really are. And now let's turn to maybe one of the most scientifically proven tools for long-term memory in language learning, spaced repetition.
Right, spaced repetition. I've heard that term thrown around a lot, especially for languages, but I'm not sure I fully grasp how it works. Can you break it down simply?
Sure. Spaced repetition is basically a smart way to review words at specific time intervals. The whole point is to move that information from your short-term memory, which is leaky, into your long-term memory, which is much more stable.
Okay.
So instead of cramming, which we know doesn't work well, you deliberately space out your review sessions over time, days, weeks, even months.
So it's about reminding my brain just when it's about to forget the word. That sounds clever.
Yes, exactly. Think about planting a seed.
Right.
If you water it heavily once and then ignore it, it probably won't grow.
Right.
But if you water it consistently, just a little bit every few days, it takes root and gets strong. Learning words is kind of similar. Your brain needs that consistent but spaced out watering.
That makes sense.
And the clever part of spaced repetition is that it tries to show you the word again right before you'd normally forget it. That little bit of struggle to recall it actually makes the memory much stronger.
Okay, that struggle is actually good for memory. So is there a specific schedule or pattern people use?
Yeah, there's a common pattern that works really well for many people. You review the word on day 1 when you learn it, then review it again after 1 day, then after 3 days, then 7 days. and then maybe 14 days.
The gaps get bigger each time.
Exactly. That increasing interverse signals to your brain, hey, this word is important, keep it around. It tricks your brain into moving it to long-term storage. It's like a personalized workout for your memory.
Wow, that's really systematic. And there are apps that manage this automatically, right? Like Anki, Quizlet, Memorize.
Absolutely. Those apps are built on these spaced repetition algorithms. They handle the scheduling for you, showing you the words just when you need to see them again.
Convenient.
But you can totally do it manually, too, with good old-fashioned flashcards. The most important thing, though, is consistency. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day dedicated to review makes a huge difference over time.
I really like that advice. Small, consistent steps feel so much more achievable than trying to do massive study sessions.
Totally. Spaced repetition is about training your brain efficiently. And over time, those words just become part of your long-term memory, ready to use. If you want words to stick for good, this is pretty much non-negotiable.
Okay, now let's talk about something really crucial for stopping those newly learned words from just fading away. Actually using them in your daily life. That whole use it or lose it thing.
That's it. It's the hard truth, really. If you don't use a word, eventually it'll slip out of your active recall.
Yeah.
But when you start consciously putting new words into small, everyday situations, they really start to cement their place in your active vocabulary.
Okay.
So the big question for a lot of listeners might be, how do you actually do that? Especially if you don't have someone to talk to in English every day.
That's a key point for people learning on their own, but you don't always need a partner. One really simple way is just talking to yourself in English.
Yeah. It feels weird at first, maybe.
A little.
Yeah.
But like when you're cooking, just say out loud, okay, I'm chopping the vegetables now. Or if you're out for a walk, oh, I see a really beautiful, vibrant garden.
That's a fantastic low-pressure way to practice. It might feel a bit odd initially, but it's super effective for using new words and phrases in context.
Another easy thing is keeping a short daily journal, or even just writing a few sentences each day. Like at the end of the day, just try to write 3 to 5 sentences using some new words you learned. Maybe something like, today I felt really productive. I finally tackled that tricky task, felt satisfied afterwards.
That's a perfect example. The goal is to connect the words to your life, your experiences. Give them real meaning beyond just the dictionary.
You could also physically label things around your house with sticky notes.
Oh yeah, the sticky note method.
Put mirror on the mirror, refrigerator on the fridge. Seeing the word visually again and again helps lodge it in your brain.
Simple but effective visual reinforcement.
And finally, if you do have friends you chat with or you're in online groups, make a little effort to sprinkle those new words into your messages. Even tiny things like, I'm feeling quite energetic today, add up.
So yeah, the main message is, don't just wait passively for the perfect moment. Actively create little opportunities to use English words every day. Just try one of these methods today. You'll probably be surprised how quickly those new words start to feel more familiar.
That's really practical, thanks. Okay, now let's move on to one of my absolute favorite ways to make words stick, using storytelling.
Oh, yes. I'm a huge fan of this one, too. Storytelling just makes learning so much more imaginative and, well, memorable.
Totally.
Our brains are just wired for stories, aren't they? They naturally combine emotions, images, context, all the things that help memory.
Exactly. It turns vocabulary practice into like a little movie scene in your head.
Yeah. So take a new word you want to learn, then think up a funny or surprising or maybe an emotional situation where that word fits perfectly.
Okay.
Then just tell yourself a short, maybe even silly story using it. For instance, if your word is gigantic, you can imagine, yesterday I saw a gigantic ice cream cone. It was taller than me. I literally needed a ladder to eat the top scoop.
That's a brilliant image.
Yeah.
You definitely remember gigantic after picturing that.
Right. I remember when I was learning embarrassed, I imagined going to a fancy party with my shirt on inside out and having to hide in the bathroom the whole time.
Oh, no. The more vivid and personal, the better.
Absolutely. That's the magic. You could even challenge yourself. Pick 5 new words and try to weave them all into one crazy story.
Oh, a story challenge. That sounds fun. It makes learning feel like a game, not a chore.
Exactly. So the key takeaway is, don't just memorize definitions. Create. Use humor, use your imagination. It's a fantastic way to make words stick deeply.
Perfectly put. Okay, now let's talk about some really powerful and sometimes kind of quirky memory shortcuts, mnemonics and associations.
Ah, the memory tricks.
Yeah, these are like clever little mental hooks that help you remember tricky words by creating funny or sometimes really bizarre connections.
And what's cool is that mnemonics work because our brains love things that are new or weird or vivid. The crazier or more sensory the image you create, the better your brain tends to remember it. Like, for bizarre, meaning very strange, you could picture a bizarre market where, I don't know, elephants are selling ice cream.
Huh. Okay. Elephants selling ice cream. Got it. Bizarre.
Or for subtle, meaning not obvious, you could think of a submarine moving very subtly underwater, almost hidden.
Those are great. And the classic one everyone knows is for dessert versus desert.
Oh, yeah.
Dessert has two S's because you always want seconds of dessert.
Ah, I like that one. Simple, but effective. Little hacks like that really can make learning easier.
Totally.
And another really good way is making personal associations. Connect new words to your own life, maybe a favorite character from a book, or even a famous person.
Okay.
So for brilliant, you could picture a bright, shining light bulb. Or maybe think of that really smart friend you have.
Yeah. I used to always picture my favorite teacher, who was incredibly smart, whenever I heard the word brilliant.
Perfect.
That instant personal link made the word feel real and easy to recall.
That's exactly the idea. The more personal or emotional or even just plain silly the connection is, the better the word will stick. So don't be afraid to get creative, even if it feels a bit ridiculous.
Right.
Mnemonics and associations turn potentially dull word lists into fun little memory games.
Okay, great advice. Now, we've got all these powerful techniques. Let's talk about some common mistakes or pitfalls that learners often fall into. Knowing these can save a lot of time and frustration.
Good idea. The first big one, and we've touched on it, is trying to memorize way too many words at once.
Right, the cramming trap.
Yeah, learners think, oh, if I learn 50 words today, I'll get there faster. But it just overwhelms your working memory and, like we said, leads to forgetting most of them pretty quickly.
Oh, I've definitely been there. You feel good for about an hour after learning 50 words. And then the next morning, you can maybe remember like 5. It's so demoralizing.
Exactly. It's classic quantity over quality. It's much better to focus on just a few words, maybe 5 to 10 a day, and really review them properly.
Okay, makes sense.
The second common mistake is learning words just on their own, from lists without any context.
Ah, yeah, the isolated word problem. That was my main method for years.
Well, mine too, initially.
But then when I tried to actually speak, I knew the word, but I had no clue how to actually use it in a sentence correctly.
Precisely. Learning words inside sentences or real situations is so important. It doesn't just teach you the meaning, it teaches you the usage, the grammar that goes with it.
Got it.
And the third big mistake, which can be really paralyzing, is being afraid to make mistakes when you try to use new words.
Oh, that's a huge one. I used to hold back so much because I worried about saying it wrong or using it weirdly or just sounding stupid.
Yeah, but making mistakes isn't just part of learning. It's actually essential for learning. If you never try using the words because you're scared of messing up, you never get the practice you need to actually master them. So you kind of have to embrace the errors. They show you what you need to work on.
Okay, so recap of the pitfalls. Don't cram too many words. Learn them in context, not isolation. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Actually use the words.
Exactly.
But what about when you do forget words? Even when you're trying your best, it can feel really discouraging.
It absolutely can. But here's something important to remember. Forgetting is not a sign of failure. It's completely normal. It's just part of how learning works.
Even for native speakers.
Even for native speakers. We forget words all the time or have that tip of the tongue feeling.
Okay, that's comforting.
So try not to see forgetting as a setback. Think of it more like a signal from your brain saying, hey, maybe review this one again.
Like a little reminder system.
Yeah, like when you work out muscles, you feel a bit of strain, you need recovery, then you get stronger. Memory is kind of similar, that forgetting and relearning actually strengthens the connection.
Okay, that's a much more positive way to look at it. So don't beat yourself up about forgetting. Just see it as a sign to practice more.
Exactly. Every time you make that effort to recall, you're strengthening those pathways. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Right? Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small wins.
Good advice. You genuinely will surprise yourself with how much you remember and can actually use over time.
Definitely.
All right, we have covered so much ground today, packed with insights. To kind of wrap things up, let's maybe summarize the key takeaways and give people a simple daily routine they could start using right away.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So, first big takeaway. Consistency is king. Even just 10 or 15 minutes every single day is way more effective than one long session once a week. It helps build and maintain those brain pathways.
Yes, small daily steps win the race. Second, mix up your learning methods. Don't just do flashcards.
Right.
Use different things, write sentences, talk out loud, listen to things, watch things. Using multiple senses helps words stick better.
Keeps it fresh, too. Third, make sure you review regularly, ideally using that spaced repetition idea. Don't just learn a word once and hope it sticks. Schedule those reviews. And finally, the big one. Use the words. Actively integrate them into your daily life. Speak, write, think in English whenever you can. Use it or lose it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, now for that simple, totally doable daily routine, maybe 5 minutes reviewing older words, flashcards, an app, whatever.
Okay.
Then another 5 minutes learning just a few new words, maybe 3 to 5. Use those images, stories, mnemonics we talked about.
Manageable chunks.
Then, crucially, 5 minutes actually using those new words. Write some sentences, say them out loud in sentences.
Active practice. Yeah.
And then maybe just a few minutes here and there during the day for that self-talk or mentally practicing the words while you're doing other things.
That sounds like a really solid, manageable routine. Maybe 15, 20 minutes total, but it hits all the key points.
Exactly.
The goal is to make vocabulary building feel less like a chore and more like a natural, enjoyable habit.
So find a time that works for you, stick to it, and your English vocabulary really will grow faster than you think.
And maybe one final thought to leave people with. Think about how engaging with words in this active way does more than just help you remember them. It's not just about collecting words like data points. It's about transforming language from something abstract into a real, living tool. A tool for connection, for expressing yourself more fully, for understanding the world in a richer way.
That's a powerful way to put it.
It's really about making English truly yours, unlocking that next level of communication.